What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. So today we'll be addressing the whole VDM situation where VDM was arrested and his whole arrests and everything that went through his arrests, and we'll just be dissecting things that VDM said in his 43 minutes talk of the whole thing that happened during his arrest. So we'll just be highlighting and addressing it one after the other, but I'll try to make this video as short as possible so we don't really expand on time. So first of all, the arrest, what really happened? So VDM told us he went to the bank with his mom, and the whole thing with his mom's accounts and everything. Then he told us how there were two security agents in the place, and one of them tried to intimidate him, and even when the other one told that one to stand down, that one refused and still tried to intimidate VDM and block his way from him coming out of it. So everything was a delay tactics. So first of all, so what is my own take about that? So it's obvious that GTB, there was sort of like an informant in GTB to inform whoever that was after VDM that okay, he's in the bank. So GTB, their hands are not clean on that part. Then also the fact that even when a CSO, when the senior security officer was telling the junior officer to stand down, the one that was on uniform, that one still refused to stand down. It means that there was an order from above. I think Donaza also said something like that, that obviously that there was an order from a superior person to delay VDM and to make sure that he doesn't leave before they arrest him. So it was a delay tactics, and GTB, their hands are not clean. He also talked about the CCTV, the way they did the CCTV. So he said that they cut things and they edited things. So clearly the CCTV we saw when VDM was in jail was not the full thing that happened at the bank. He said that he was even having issues. He wanted to take a picture with the fan in the bank premises, that's outside the bank but within the compound, and they didn't allow him to take it, and they were still fighting with him on that part. So it's all just shows that there was somebody in GT Bank that was informing people, and GT Bank kind of like aided and abetted his arrest. That was one thing that we saw from VDM statements. And the other thing we saw again was he mentioned the use of DSS, and he told us that they blocked him. Two trucks bracketed his car and they told him to calm down, and when he was coming down he obeyed their rule, and yet one of them pointed gun at his face and his mom was screaming, and they even slapped him before taking him into their van. And he told them that please, there's no need for violence, I'm not it's not like I'm refusing to go with you guys, I'm not being violently aggressive, I'm going willingly, there's no need of you doing all these things. But they gave him a dirty slap, and this is my take on that. I feel like they were trying to intimidate him and instill fear on him just to send a message to him. Either way, in my last video I talked about when he spoke against, there has been speaking against people, and most likely that there might be political involvement in this VDM arrest. And even he also referenced it that it's possible that there might be political, that this thing might be a political propaganda. I mean, I still feel the same, that this thing was a clear political propaganda by somebody in the political office, somebody that is high up above, to just send a message to VDM to intimidate him. Remember that part of Game of Thrones where Cersei was talking to Lord Baelish, and Lord Baelish said knowledge is power, and Cersei told the guards to arrest him and told him power is power. That's exactly what played out here.
And which truth is that?
Knowledge is power.
Seize him. Cut his throat. Stop. Wait. I've changed my mind. Let him go. Step back 3 paces. Turn around. Close your eyes. Power is power.
So it's obvious that this whole thing was just practically planned. It was planned, and it was planned for a reason. But before we get to that plan, DSS, why was the DSS the one that arrested him if it was EFCC that wanted him? It's obvious that the DSS, they used the DSS because all this is allegedly, and this is just my own insinuation, that the DSS was used because they wanted the DSS to play the role of trying to intimidate VDM. If it's EFCC, they know EFCC is not the aggressive type, but the DSS police, they will try to intimidate you and shake you. So even if you are a hard guy, they will break you before they take you to the jail, before you confess things. And they tried that, including even slapping him. In a proper society, you don't hit someone that is a suspect, especially for this VDM's case. They said there was a warrant for him, but at the end of the day, they didn't have any charge to charge him, and it was all the charge that they brought against him was done while he was still in jail. So this a different scenario entirely. So DSS did their own. Then we see the EFCC probe. The EFCC, they took VDM. EFCC claimed the arrest of VDM, that they're the ones that arrested him. They took him to the HQ quarters, and it was in the HQ quarters they called him out for an interview. And after holding him for 3-4 hours, they called him out for an interview, told him to write a statement, and even told him to talk. And he said that he's not saying anything if his lawyer was not on ground. And and VDM was arrested on a Friday, but VDM wasn't interviewed till on a Monday, according to his own statement. And this is what I assume that the reason why he wasn't interviewed till Monday was clearly, first of all, that delay tactics where they put you on hold and make you wait. It's kind of like a medium they use to break people, where the person that's the suspect or the defendant, whatever you call it, the person is thinking like, what did I do? What should I say? What should I say? And the mental mind games that is being played there, so that the person will be scared, and person will just, after they've broken the person, when they are interviewing the person will spill as much as they can spill. So it's a way for them to break a person, and so that the person can talk and spill things that they want the person to say, so things that they can use to incriminate the person. And for VDM's case, I think VDM was clearly underrated in terms of his mental strength, in terms of also the power and influence that he has, because I don't think the EFCC and whoever arrested VDM expected to have a lot of pushback by the masses and by the media. Like, people condemned the arrest and the style of arrest online. People also condemned him being arrested unlawfully without being invited to courts. And we saw something from the EFCC. EFCC didn't address the public until like 48 hours after. They didn't address the public early. And when they addressed the public, they didn't give us any specific thing that VDM had done. They just said that he had multiple petitions to which he didn't acknowledge, and they had invited him and he didn't come. But VDM told us that, on the other hand, they never invited him. His mail was empty. No, there was no invite. So everything EFCC said there was a false statement, because he said that he didn't receive any invite from EFCC. If not, he would have graced the invite, because we know VDM, he doesn't shy away from all these petitions and invites. He will see him. He will be the one that comes to court. He will see him. He'll be the one that comes to all these invitations. So this is the thing. And VDM, so clearly the EFCC didn't have anything to hold VDM for, and we're looking for how to incriminate him by asking him so many questions, considering the fact that he's a public figure. They know about his NGO, the funds that he controls in the NGO, and they were expecting to, one way somehow, find something on him, because it's clear. Another thing that hints that this is a political propaganda is the fact that, in the political sense, there always anybody that is feeling threatened by another person, they try to find something to hold that person on. They feel like nobody is above being above a crime. Somebody's hand might be dirty somewhere somehow. And for VDM's case, they tried to see how they could find something on him. So that's why they're asking him a series of questions, from his bank account to the money he controls to his asset declaration, to why he started an NGO, to, in fact, they just asked him so many things, then including how he makes his money. So clearly they talked about his Facebook, his earnings from social media, and they now use the tax evasion tactics. So we all know that in Nigeria there's no clear-cut information on our taxes. The people that pay taxes, the 9 to 5ers pay taxes because it's part of the whole scheme where you connect to LIRS, you pay taxes. But those that are earning money online, taxes are already being charged by the people that are paying you online. They charge you on taxes. And Nigeria, according to Nigeria's statement, they say that you are supposed to pay taxes, but there's no clear-cut tax policy given to you. And this can cause a problem in the future, because when they are looking for anything to hold somebody by, an adult by, the tax rule is always very clear, because first of all, there's no clear-cut tax structure in the system that says this is your taxes you have to pay every month based on what you're earning, based on what you're doing, based on this and that. This is the tax you have to pay. So because of that, a lot of Nigerians evade tax, and they don't understand the tax culture. And that's why when Nigerians go abroad and they see a structured system where tax is highly effective, they tend to not find it very difficult to adjust. So the tax thing is very easy to hold any Nigerian by, and they held VDM by that. They caught VDM on that tax on. And aside the tax thing, they couldn't find anything to hold in terms of money laundering and everything. And the fact that he declared his asset, and VDM realized that he doesn't have anything except his old card that he had been using. And one thing about VDM is the kind of person that doesn't really have secrets. He tells you everything. So he talked in the video, he also spoke about his past life of when he was still a nude model and selling his body to both gay men and women and all those things, and now he made money from that. So it was a legal thing, but it's not moral. There's something different between legality and morality. They are close, but they are not together. There are some things that are moral and they are not legal, and there are some things that are legal but not moral. So so that's VDM's the whole summary of my own take from VDM's message on his arrest. So like I said before, I feel like this issue was clearly, it was a political arrest, and the purpose of that arrest was to basically try to shake VDM, try to send a message to him that he can't just come out and be calling out anybody in the seats of government, and including the EFCC. The EFCC already had an animosity towards him because he called them out and he shaded them and everything. So that was the major thing that this arrest was to send a message to him, and just a power play move by people of higher authorities, whether political people, whether entertainment people. But I feel like the way the whole thing happened, it is beyond an entertainment personnel. The way the whole thing happened, where DSS is involved, then the EFCC is involved, then he stayed in, and the questioning and everything, beyond an entertainment personnel. It is more of people in the higher authorities that's wanted to just send him a message. And I don't know if they achieved what they got, because the truth is that whatever they did made VDM stronger. Right now, his clout is like ×5 of what it was before. You see people coming out to protest for the release of VDM. So his clout, even his friends in China even lended their voices on his behalf. Sanfemi Falana also talked on his behalf. So this particular power play move that happened to him with the whole arresting, it only did one thing to VDM. It made him stronger. It made him to be more sensitive to the attacks that are coming for him, and also to just watch his steps carefully. So that's just my take on the whole thing.